Good morning, everyone. Checking in. It's day 15, I believe. I have 2 more days left of quarantining. So decided to do my check-in, let everybody know I'm doing well. So again, have not had any have not had any type of pain at night since taking the melatonin as well. Been very productive in getting phlegm off my chest, so that's really good. Another thing I want to let everybody know, I've been getting asked about the steam and the hot bath. So, can they take showers? I personally would recommend a bath. First off, a shower, you would need to be in there a long time. You're talking 20, 30 minutes in a hot bath. You need to be in there soaking, and the peppermint needs to get into your cavities, so your nose, your mouth, your ears. You need to sweat, so you're trying to get a sweat pouring off your face and in your lungs and in your back, that type of area. So no, I wouldn't recommend a shower. I would actually do a bath. For those who need to have if you have a child or a baby or the elderly, what else can you do besides hot water? Because I understand that. Well, there are numerous things. So one, if you recall on my first video, I believe I said that you can do boil water in a bowl and put peppermint drops in it. And then you can put a towel around your face and put that over your face and just let that steam go in. So that would be like an older teenager, obviously not a 3 or 4 year old child. They're not going to like that and they're going to freak out. They do have these things called a steam diffuser. You can get them on Amazon for like $20. You honestly can. Depending on the child, they may sit there and do that. They might. They might do that. Elderly definitely, they'll do that. And then the other thing that I would suggest that is really good is, if none of that's going to work for them, because they still need to get that phlegm off of them, is always go to then Vicks Vapor Rub. Yes, put Vicks Vapor Rub on their neck, their chest, and their back. Get a heating pad. Put a heating pad on them and let that Vicks Vapor Rub and that heating pad be the steam. So sit that on there again, 20 or 30 minutes front and back. And it's going to do the same thing that hot bath is going to do. It's going to get that steam going. It's going to get that phlegm coming up. So that's what you're trying to generate. So you're going to do that every night during that 10-day quarantine to get that phlegm producing. Even if they don't have a cough, not having a cough is good. You don't want a cough, but that still doesn't mean that they don't have phlegm in them. I've never had a cough, but I've been producing phlegm. Every day I've been spitting up and producing phlegm. So never had a cough, never had a fever. Sense of taste and smell, here's the weird thing. So today as I was eating an orange, couldn't taste it, but when I was putting on my lotion, which is Bath and Body Works and it's peach, I could somewhat smell it. So I don't know if it's trying to come back, but a lot of people also report right before they get ready to get their sense of smell back, they all of a sudden smell smoke. And it somewhat freaks them out because they truly do think something is burning. It's that sense of a strong of a smell of smoke. It's like cigarette smoke or like something's on a stove burning. And they're actually searching through their house like, what's burning? What's burning? They're like, don't you smell that burning? So I haven't smelled that yet. So I don't know. But I did smell that Bath and Body Works, and I thought that was actually kind of odd. But I couldn't taste the orange at all. Couldn't taste it. Also, I'll be talking to my doctor today, and so these are the rules of the CDC and the World Health Organization and your county health officials. So don't hate the messenger. I'm just the messenger. Do not hate the messenger. You have people that are sitting next to you and walking past you every day that have had COVID, and these are the rules for returning back into the world. The rules state that as long as you do not have a fever, as long as you do not have a cough, and as long as you, as long as you do not have a fever and you're not taking anything to prevent a fever. You cannot be taking Tylenol, ibuprofen, Advil, Aleve, Motrin, etc. to stop a fever. As long as you do not have a cough, I never had one, and as long as you have had no new symptoms for at least 3 days. And what do they mean by new symptoms? Well, say for instance, um, say for instance that I did not have body aches at all, none this time. And then all of a sudden today, being Tuesday, I start getting body aches. All of a sudden, that's a new symptom. Then I can't return. If I worked outside the house, I would not be allowed to return back to work until those had subsided. That is what the rules state. That has to stop for 3 days. So as long as you have had no new symptoms for 3 days, you've been on your quarantine for 10 days, you have not had a fever, and you're not taking anything to stop a fever, and you do not have a cough, and you've been on your quarantine for 10 days, you can go back into the world. You don't have to be on self-quarantine. Period. As far as getting a retest, that is not recommended. The reason they say that is because technically, if you go take a retest, you're going to test positive. Period. You're going to test positive because the virus testing does not, it cannot distinguish the fact that the antibodies and the virus. It doesn't know the difference. The virus testing doesn't. The swab testing itself, you need to get the antibodies test. So if you have a job or school that is saying that you need to get retested, they need to reword that. You need to get an antibody test because getting retested is going to show positive. It's going to show positive. You technically still have the virus cells in you. And as far as antibodies, you want it in you because if you didn't have the antibodies in you, you're prone to get COVID-19 again if it's the same strand. If the strand changes, you might get a new strand, but as long as it's the same strand, you won't get that strand again as long as you have the antibodies in you. So, don't hate the messenger. I'm just telling you what the WHO and CDC has said as far as people returning back into the workforce in the world, that it is allowed. Hence the reason why you need to really practice social distancing and mask wearing. 100%. You don't know, and because people, for whatever reason, don't feel the need, and they feel like this is the plague, no one's going to tell you that they have had COVID because they see how people treat people that have had it. And they're like, I'm not telling no one. I'm not going to tell anyone. They don't have to. To be honest, they don't have to. I'm just choosing to do it. But a lot of people see how other people treat people. If you all could see, and I would never tell anyone, I'm never going to tell anyone, all of the messages that I've had from people that have had questions and they've let me know and they've shared that they have had it, you would be amazed. There's a lot of people that have already had it and truly been tested and they had it. So don't be shocked that you're thinking people haven't had it just because they didn't say anything. No, they've had it. And they're just choosing not to say anything. And that's their right. They don't have to tell you their medical issues. They don't have to tell you anything. They got to be clear that they can go back and do anything. For me personally, what's going to change? Nothing. Guess what? I was already self-isolating before COVID. We weren't doing anything at our house. We weren't going to social things. We weren't having people over. And I'm going to continue doing it because I take this very seriously. It's quite serious. And I'm not having get-togethers, and I'm not accepting invites, and I'm not going around family members. That's my choice. But for those of you that are choosing to do those things, that's you. You have every right. That's your life. But I'm not doing it. So COVID didn't change that for me. I was already doing that. But um, those are things that I thought I would share with you. And 2 more days, and nothing really changes but 2 more days of this. And that's it. So thanks for listening. Thought I would share today's news.